Let me tell you my story. So, I was born and raised in Kentucky, of all places, in a little small town called Hopkinsville. Raised by my mother, and she did the best she could with what she knew, and I think my father did too. Then there came a season of our lives that we weren't prepared for. There were challenges that were ahead of us that we didn't know were coming. 2009, my mom and my dad get a divorce. 2010, my mom has to have a surgery due to a loss of blood and almost loses her life, almost dies. And in 2011, my older brother committed suicide. And those 3 years back to back took a toll on us that is unexplainable. I remember thinking, this can't be real. This is the things that you see on movies. This is the things that you see on the news. But it would never happen to my family. No, there's no way. We subconsciously form this like barrier or the shield around us and around our families as if this stuff can never happen to us. Until one day you wake up and your sibling that you've been living like right next door to in the house tells you that they've been battling depression for the last 6 months to a year. And they've been suffering in silence because who would they tell without feeling judged? Where is a safe place that they could go to without feeling like ashamed? And that was a hard truth to swallow, because I'm thinking, how many times have I walked past my brother and he was suffering in silence and never told me anything? And I've replayed the day that it happened over and over and over again in my head. And I look back and I'm like, if I only would have known, I would have hugged him at least one last time. I would have told him that no matter what it is, we can talk about it. I've seen things like this pull people further away from the Lord than anything else. But the interesting part is that I saw my mom in this run to the Lord instead of running from him. I've seen people say, God, if you do this to me, I'll never trust you again. If you do this to me, I'll never forgive you. But my mom chose in those moments to say, God, I don't know what's happening, but I trust you to carry me through this. And seeing my mother's relationship in the Lord be anchored that much kind of shifted something in me to where I knew no matter how dark the season, no matter how violent the waves of life, I want to be anchored in him that much. I just know on my darkest day, watching my mother cling to the Lord when she could have ran from him is what gave me the courage to run to him instead of running from him. And I think that that's what saved me in a lot of ways. It didn't stop the dark days from happening, but it gave me hope in the dark days, and it gave me something to hold on to until the dark days were over. And sometimes it was the only thing that gave me the strength to get out of bed. Because dark things happening, like the lamenting part of it, the heartbreaking part of it, is only a signal that says this mattered. This had weight. And I know it's hard sometimes sitting in it. It's hard to like sit in it because the dark days hurt and it's painful. And the healing process hurts too. I think if we don't go through the healing, we'll have internal wounds wounds that will bleed on people, will bleed on our relationships, will bleed on our work, will bleed on our friends. And we have to go through the uncomfortable things of healing, because that's how like you'll see the beauty in life after those things. My mission now is to provide a safe place for people to kind of get away from everything and escape for a moment, if that's what they need. To provide a safe space for people to talk or not talk. A place for people to just be and find the Lord. Because I think a lot of times like we get so motivated to introduce God to people. But Stephanie Gretzinger said that God once told her, I'm so much better at being found than you are at introducing me. So much better at being discovered than you are at setting a table for people to find me. Like, So I think my mission now is to provide that space for people to come and get away and find their hope again, find their peace again, find their joy again, and ultimately find the goodness of the Lord. I hope this story brings you hope and gives you something to hold on to on your darkest days. Or ultimately that it pulls you out and gives you a space where you can discover the goodness of God and the goodness of the Lord.